Say goodbye to Far Cry 7 in 2025. Ubisoft has delayed it to take the right path. Good. I played Far Cry 5 and 6, and they were mediocre. They were mid. They were very boring, and I didn't like any of the characters, and I was just kind of getting through it just to unlock stuff. I didn't care about it at all. The, like, expansion game, New Dawn, was better, and it was still kind of trash. The studio had planned to release 2 video games of the saga next year, but neither of them will arrive on time. 2 of them? They were going to release 2 Far Cry games next year? That Ubisoft is planning a spin on the Far Cry formula is not the... let me try that again. That Ubisoft is planning a spin on the Far Cry formula is not news. That is not a sentence. Journalist Jason Schreier, now at Bloomberg, revealed it back in 2021, but Insider Gaming has provided additional data. Tom Henderson's outlet, which has sources at the French company, has published that 2 titles of the saga currently in development have changed their release date. Far Cry 7, codenamed Blackbird, and the extraction shooter Maverick will be released in 2026 instead of 2025 as originally planned. Blackbird, that sounds like they're just gonna make a regular Far Cry game, but with jets now. That's literally what that sounds like. The main reason for the delay is the complexity of the development. Well, hopefully it's complex enough to make a good game. Ubisoft has decided to retire the Dunia engine and replace it with Snowdrop. Ooh, that sounds new and interesting. The same engine used by Tom Clancy's The Division or Star Wars Outlaws. Oh, well, never mind, it maybe not be that interesting. According to Insider Gaming, Maverick will challenge players to survive in the wildest Alaska, where participants will have to fight against each other while facing fierce animals and the harshest weather conditions. That sounds like The Division, but Far Cry. And animals. The recent cancellation of X-Defiant has raised some internal doubts at Ubisoft about Maverick, which, although it makes sense within the saga, was approved following the trends of the moment. Or it was just not looking good, so they were like, damn, we better hold off on this. We better start making some actual good games. But maybe they're in too deep. They've got too many bad games going on. Meanwhile, Far Cry 7 will star a character whose family is kidnapped by the leader of a conspiratorial sect. This group will perform various hallucinogenic experiments. Is that just like the whole thing with Far Cry, that it just has to have hallucinogens in it? On animals and children. Wow. Okay, it's on animals and children now. You gotta make the stakes higher, making them a danger to everyone. It is said that the player has 24 hours, 72 hours in the game, to reach his goal, a formula reminiscent of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Oh, it's gonna be time-based? Fun. That sounds like a whole lot of fun. In addition to changing the formula, the 2 games will introduce new mechanics especially related to the character's movement. They will implement a tactical sprint, the possibility to slide, or the option to jump. It seems that they will share the inventory and loot system, but sources claim that in Blackbird it also makes sense given the character's desperation to save his family. Okay, they will implement a tactical sprint and the possibility to slide or the option to jump. Wow. Breaking new bounds. We haven't seen that in a video game before. It seems that they will share the inventory and loot system. Okay. So they're basically just gonna port it over, have the same game basically, just in different settings and different game modes. Far Cry 7 has not been officially announced yet. The last installment of the saga, Far Cry 6, was released in 2021 and followed the line of previous titles in the franchise. I don't think it's been long enough. I honestly think it hasn't been long enough, and at the same time, it's been too long. They've probably spent way too much money on Far Cry 7, and they're about to spend a lot more money on it. Far Cry 7 has not been officially announced yet. The last installment was 2021. Ubisoft's main release for 2025 is Assassin's Creed Shadows, scheduled for February 14th, and that's going to be a disaster. Next year is not looking good for them at all, and I don't see 2026 looking good for them either. Oh, I think they're probably gonna have to get sold. That's probably 100% what's gonna have to happen.